What's up, blockchain? This is Nick from Truth Blitz. Hope you guys are having a good evening. I say evening because I am recording this tonight, even though I will be uploading it in the morning tomorrow on Saturday. So what is net neutrality? Everybody, I'm sure, keeps hearing about it. Some of you may not know exactly what it is. So we're going to talk a little bit about what neutrality is and what this means and what this could mean for cryptocurrencies and the cryptocurrency markets. So Wikipedia's definition of net neutrality is the principle that internet service providers must treat all data on the internet the same and not discriminate or charge differently by user, content, website, platform, application, type of attached equipment, or method of communication. So basically, net neutrality, the net neutrality law was an Obama era law. It's one of the few things good that came out of the Obama administration, in my opinion. But that's neither here nor there. I won't make this a political thing, even though it really is. But net neutrality actually it has support, but bipartisan support. This is a nonpartisan issue. This basically boils down to free speech and the fact that this puts the power into the internet service provider's hands, to where bigger platforms, bigger companies will be benefited, and smaller companies will basically, how to put this, be feeling the effects from this. We're going to read this sign. Here's a couple protest signs. We're going to read this article. I was looking at these. Net neutrality is free speech. There's a couple good ones up here. And fascist corporate crooks. This basically is fascism. So, sign loading. That's a good one. Net neutrality is nonpartisan. Like I said, let's get into this article real quick. Talk a little bit about net neutrality, and then talk about how it could potentially affect cryptos. The Federal Communication Commission, FCC, is preparing for a vote on December 14th, which, for those of you who don't know, already happened. Okay, so this is an older article, and they voted to repeal net neutrality. Anyway, where it may repeal net neutrality regulations put in place during the Obama era. The FCC is the federal agency responsible for implementing and enforcing America's communications laws and regulations. The U.S. government agency is overseen by Congress in its dealings. The announcement was made on November 21st, 2017, that Ajit Pai, the Commission's chairman, is in a draft titled Restoring Internet Freedom Order, where he put forward his proposals to reduce regulations on internet providers in an effort to increase innovation. Net neutrality regulations classify the internet as a utility, but Pai believes that the decision was a mistake. It's depressed investment in building and expanding broadband networks and deterred innovation. Presently, internet providers in the U.S. are required by law to ensure that all internet traffic is treated equally. Access to content online is given at the same rate regardless of the source or the nature of that subject matter, so long as it's lawful. This is the nature of net neutrality. This gives consumers a certain level of protection as they are able to access the internet fairly without ISPs using their power to throttle, slow down, or even outrightly restrict access to specific content. So, very 1984, okay, if you think about it, and what could happen from this. Just think about how much, if, for example, and this is how political this can get. So, for example, I have Xfinity for internet. All right, so say the bigwigs at Xfinity don't like the political views of Drudge Report or any website, Zero Hedge. Okay, so they can basically restrict access by its customers to those websites. They can slow it down to the point where it won't load or it will take forever to load, or they can outright shut it down. Okay, so like I said, very 1984. However, Pai expressed disdain for the regulations, believing them to have failed. He stated, "Today I have shared with my colleagues a draft order that would abandon this failed approach and return the long-standing consensus that served consumers well for decades. Under my proposal, the federal government will stop micromanaging the internet. Instead, the FCC would simply require internet service providers to be transparent about their practices so that consumers can buy the service plan that's best for them, and entrepreneurs and other small businesses can have the technical information that they need to innovate." So another thing that can come from this is, oh, your internet's too slow. See, right now there's regulations in place, but they can make this so, oh, your internet's too slow when you're trying to access certain content. Okay, well, you're going to have to upgrade and get the preferred plan and spend a shit ton more money if you want to see that content. And if it's that important to you, you're going to pay the money. So you can see here like where I'm going with this and how net neutrality is something that most people, most Americans, I'm sure not all, but most Americans agree should stay in place. So, I don't know. It's yet to be seen what will happen once this is all said and done. But right now it looks like it is being repealed. Or that's the way it's going anyway. So what I want to get into is this here: net neutrality and cryptocurrencies. If the vote goes through and the internet is declassified as a utility, then there are legitimate concerns over the future treatment of small businesses, streaming services, and consumer protection online. But there are also worries over the fate of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. People are able to buy and sell cryptocurrencies on exchanges over the internet. Thus, it is plausible that ISPs may be able to use the repeal to affect some aspects of the cryptocurrency market. An ISP may block or slow down access to a site in favor of its preferred exchange, such as the one that is operating, or restrict its access entirely due to political lobbying. Alright, speaking to Vice, Marvin Amori, board member of Fight for the Future, a digital advocacy group, explained this possibility. The average person goes to Coinbase to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin. The average on-ramp is an exchange, and those are easy to block. If Comcast is the monopoly provider in the area, the provider could decide there is a preferred Bitcoin exchange. Okay, so even bigger than that, what my worry is what happens when basically lobbying is done to the ISPs by either big banks or even people who are in traditional markets, hedge funds, whoever who really, yes, okay, they can trade Bitcoin futures now, but hedge funds can't really get too into crypto. Okay, so there's money being lost, all right, in traditional markets. Look at how much people are switching from gold and silver and buying cryptos. These are just a couple examples, but lobbying can be done to the ISPs to basically shut down crypto exchanges. Okay, And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's a possibility. And now, because of the fact that this is going to be repealed, it's definitely a possibility. It can happen. There is no safeguard in place to protect us now. All right. Basically, this puts the power into the hands of big corporations, which is fascism, plain and simple. Okay. To avoid this, exchanges may have to resort to paying the internet provider a premium in order to remain accessible. In addition, ISPs may be able to use this ability to stop the trading and usability of Bitcoin and its counterparts, thus effectively putting an end to the cryptocurrency market. Now, this would only be in the US. Obviously, cryptos are worldwide, but that would put a big dent in the market. Furthermore, internet providers may be able to affect the cryptocurrency space by affecting peer-to-peer interactions. Emin Gun-Sirer, a computer science professor at Cornell University, believes peer-to-peer applications may be greatly affected because they're not in the top 100 most popular destinations on the web. Providers can make the case that supporting those non-top 100 assets costs more and users have to bear the cost. My worry is that it will affect the ability to run your own node. This would effectively make it difficult for cryptocurrencies to continue to operate since the blockchain works on the principle of decentralized peer-to-peer interaction. If the vote does in fact happen, which it has, then net neutrality is repealed, then it is quite plausible there may be a marked effect on Bitcoin as well as the overall cryptocurrency market in the US. I have to kind of check into what's next with this. I don't know if it's going on to another vote or what the case is, but I know the vote passed, I think 3-2. So, or at least that's what I read. But in any case, this is not good. This is not good for free speech. This is not good for free markets. This puts power. This basically, the government has given the power to big corporations, which is fascism, plain and simple. Antifa wants to scream fascism. Well, this is fascism. And unfortunately, this is Trump's pick for the FCC chair who did this. So, I'm not very happy about it. And at all. You shouldn't be either. It's yet to be seen what is going to happen to the crypto market, like I said, but there is the possibility that this can have a huge effect, especially on exchanges inside the US, such as Coinbase, Bittrex, Poloniex, and so on and so forth. So this is just something we're going to have to wait and see and hope for the best. That's pretty much what it boils down to, people. Anyway, I know it's been talked about a lot. Some of you don't really know what net neutrality is. I had somebody ask me, so I wanted to come out and make this video. It is a big deal. And, we'll just have to see what the future holds for us when it comes to free speech and free internet usage. Anyway, guys, follow me on Twitter at TruthBlitzMedia, and I'll see you next time.